Welcome to Audit Pros Inc. Today's discussion is going to be the process and what we're talking about for those of you that have mortgages and problems, whether you're upside down, behind in payments, and a loan modification. You want to do something about it. First of all, let's look at the tools and what needs to be done. It starts off with research. Have to find out what's wrong. And this could take 1, 2, 3 weeks, sometimes even a month, depending on your situation, your paperwork, and the documentation that you have. When research is done, the next step is a securitization audit. And this securitization audit really covers everything that happened after your closing. See, before the closing date, it was your mortgage, your loan, putting all the paperwork together, your application, your disclosures, your loan program. After closing, there's a note that's created. And securitization analyzes everything after that closing date. What happened? The chain of events. Then there's an affidavit written by the auditor that outlines what's in the securitization audit. This affidavit obviously is under oath by the auditor, and it's not hearsay. It's factual and can be used in court as evidence. Then you have the option of doing a quiet title, action, or a lawsuit. And that's up to you. And a lot of times that's based on the findings in your audit. So we can break this down with the quiet title and everything. Moving forward, you're going to do that research we talked about, analyzing everything. You could have a possible clouded title. Who owns that title? Was there fraud? Do you need to move forward with the lawsuit? Now, judges, are they in a good mood or a bad mood? You don't know. And hopefully you're going to win. Now, there's different aspects to all of this. If you're doing a quiet title, what could possibly happen is that they may not respond, and you could get a default judgment. And if they do respond, we're going to go over all of that for you in an upcoming slide. Now, if you don't win, let's take a look at that. What's next? Well, obviously, you may have to move forward with a lawsuit depending on your state. In a judicial state, if you're in foreclosure, you're going to file a counterclaim. If you're behind in your mortgage and you want to take action, you're going to file a lawsuit. In the non-judicial state, you would file the lawsuit. But you cannot guarantee the results when you're dealing in lawsuits. So what you need to do is hire a good attorney that we'll speak to. Make sure they're on the same page with us. They have the experience and they know what they're doing. They're not just suspending foreclosures. They're getting the job done. But no one's going to get the job done 100% of the time. And keep in mind, it's not always the banks committing the fraud. Sometimes when we do research and you're working with a good attorney, it's the borrower that may have done it. Now, we're not saying that happens a lot, but it does happen. And if you got an entry-level audit, you may need to upgrade that audit if you're going to have to file a motion or a lawsuit. Now, the next steps, getting involved. You have two halves, your first half and your second half. And first, it's going to be review. Going to review the audit, see what you have. If there's something there you want to move forward, you get that attorney. The next step is to file a motion. Now, you may get a response. If you don't get a response, that could be a good thing. Your attorney will advise you on that. But if you get a response, you need to have an answer, which your attorney will do for you. Then you'll mitigate. And at that point, a little prayer will go a long way. Now, let me explain one thing. If a bank is foreclosing on your property, not all of you are behind in your payments, but let's say you are, or you know somebody that is. What's going to happen is they're going to bring in what they call a foreclosure mill attorney, and they're paying them a flat fee, a certain number that they agree to. Most people walk away, and the attorney or the law firm does very well because there's not a lot of work involved. If there's fraud and you challenge this, you're creating extra work. You're making that law firm work, and time is money. And if you've got evidence, there's a great chance you could work something out. We're going to talk about what you could possibly work out. What are these results? Now, you can't guarantee results, but you may get a loan workout, and that could happen 30% of the time. Now, I'm talking about something a little different than a loan modification. We're not talking about working with loss mitigation. We're talking about working with the legal department, where you don't have all those strict guidelines. The next possible result could be a principal reduction. We've seen reductions from 10, 20, 30%, as high as 80%. It really depends on your situation and what you find. Next could be free and clear. Now, does that happen a lot? Not really. It doesn't happen a lot. Can it happen? Yes, it is possible. You see this happen more with a quiet title action if you go that route. Then foreclosure, that would happen as well. Now, these numbers will vary. It's based on the evidence found and your lender, what situation they're in. This is just an idea of what you could possibly expect, and it could change. So you have to pay attention to your situation. You have to pay attention to the information and the evidence found. You have to pay attention to your attorney. Make sure they understand your present situation, and make sure they know what's going on with the banks, and they know the judges. And put them in touch with us, because we want to speak with them as well. Again, we're Audit Pros. We thank you for your time. We're here to provide education at no cost. We have webinars just about every other week that you can join. Tell your friends about us at auditpros.net. We're here to give you the information you need, not just on audits, on credit, debt, financing without credit, and a lot more. We thank you for your time, and we wish you the best. Don't be silent. Spread the word. Have a great day.